sir.
Are you able to see my
Yes, sir.
screen? Very good. So once quick revise, I'm not going to tell anything, just what are the names only I will tell. Okay, so we'll start going with the DNS today. The first one is we discussed about a different type of servers and their services. That's why I put a topic name is servers and services. There is no specific topic, servers and services topic is not there, guys. If in case in interview people ask you what are the things you learn, you have to tell like this. I have learned about basics of service desk, okay, basic networking, okay, in basics of networking, okay, basic PC hardware. That is we are going to going next part, basic PC hardware, servers and services. If you say servers and services, then people will get it out what it is. Okay, so that's why I'm telling it is. I made up that name, but because of we are discussing about servers and their services, different type of servers and their services. First of all, we discussed about a peer-to-peer server client models. Peer-to-peer means there is a no centralized server or a center part servers is not there. Okay, so there are just computers. They are communicating each other, sharing information, sharing resources without having any central control or centralization. But servers and services, in server and client, there is a server and there is a client, multiple clients take a service from a server. Server provide a service, client access service. Exactly say client request for a service to the server. Okay, client request for a server, server respond to the client. Okay. So in this manner, in a server, and what are the different type of servers? In that one, based on what service they are providing. How to become a server? How to become a server? A particular server. A server is become a particular server based on built-in features, built-in roles, built by installing some packages or applications. So the server become a particular server and it will provide a services like a web server. So you install a Apache HTTP or you enable a feature Microsoft Internet Information Service or you install an application called Tomcat. So it is automatically become a web server or application server. Okay, file server. You install a FTP feature or you install a VSFTP package, then it is a become file server. Same goes for DHCP, DNS, Active Directory, WDS kind of stuff. You install a, for example, Microsoft Exchange server application in the server or a Zimbra application in the server, so then it is become mail server. Okay. VPN server, virtualization server, storage server, database servers. What is database server? So it stores database. How it is a system or a server become a database server by installing application like a Oracle DB application or a MS SQL Server application or MySQL Server application you install, then automatically it is become database server, provide a database services. Different operating systems we can use in the server environments. Some operating systems will provide with built-in features or roles. Some we can able to install a particular application inside, then it is work like a server. Next one is to run a server operating system and the services from the server. We need a hardware and with a different type of basic advantages of using that hardware is also there, like a tower server, rack mount or a rack server or a blade servers. There are a lot of differences. We use as per our requirement, which one is suitable for our thing, we can do it. Next one is what is a data center? So what is a data center is a combination of servers, storage devices, networking components, applications, cabling, connectivity, okay, storage devices, applications, networking components, different type of servers, their connectivities are in the data center. And also in the data center, you have to maintain the temperature and you have to maintain the power supply, backup power supply. Okay, so you have to monitor all these aspects of a data center. Next one, we discuss about a work group and domain. What is a work group and domain? Only one or two, 3 points you can add it. Like a work group is a decentralized administration, no centralized control. In work group, if a PC is in a work group, it is an individual PC. It has its their own administrator can able to control by their own administrator only. Once a PC user cannot be log into other PC user. One PC user cannot log into another PC user because that's PCs, the user information, password information, their user settings, everything stores in their one PC only. We can control individually, not centrally. Means you have a 10 computers, you have to go to each and every computer to do certain settings or anything. But if in case you have 100 computers, you have to go to each and every computer, that become very difficult to administrate. So, domain is a decentralized administration. There is a centralized control. Controller is there, that is called a domain. Controller is nothing but our server. Okay, so domain administrator is admin for all systems in the domain. Okay, so user in the domain can log into any domain computer, which domain controller will authenticate that user because user information, password information stored in the domain controller only. Domain controller having a Active Directory database called ntds.dat. In this database, we have a users, computers, groups, services, resources information located in this Active Directory domain database. Enforce various type of settings to large number of users, computers in domain. Enforce various type of settings to large number of users and computers in the domain using group policies. Okay, so this is the difference between work group and domain. So user in the domain can log into any domain user. Okay. So when a user is trying to log into a domain computer, so the request go to domain controller and it domain controller authenticate that user, verify user identity. Check your whether you are in a work group or a domain also. Next one is what is that this domain, Active Directory domain, a logical administrative boundary of users and computers. What is an Active Directory? Active Directory has a database stores identity of users, groups, computers, services and resource information, and Active Directory authenticate users and computers when they log into domain. Or you can say Active Directory authenticate users when they log into domain computer. Okay. So what is the Active Directory database name? ntds.dat. Active Directory authentication protocol name is Kerberos, and also it use LDAP also. Both. It is a Microsoft service, and of course, Active Directory name is introduced in Windows Server 2000. That time onwards, we are using Kerberos authentication and databases. And further, it is calling as Active Directory domain services since 2000 Server 8. And already I told what is a Azure AD. So Azure is a Microsoft public cloud services. Azure ID is if you are getting a Active Directory services from Azure cloud, so that is called a Azure AD services. So as I said, like authentication and authorization. What is an authentication? Verifying username and password. That is authentication. Authorization means once it is authenticated, you are allow them to access. Allow them to access or deny to given access. So that is just done by authorization. Okay. Next one we discussed about a DHCP, dynamic host configuration protocol, port number 6768. So DHCP server assign an IP address to the clients automatically. If client does not contain an IP address, so we will get an IP address from DHCP server automatically. So we can assign an IP address manually to an adapter, and also we can get an IP address to an adapter automatically. So manually you can assign an IP address, that is called static IP. It cannot be changed automatically when you change the network. When you change the network, it cannot be changed automatically. Okay, so it is difficult to administrate because number of devices increases, different IP addresses assigning is difficult. Different type of devices, it's very difficult to assign the IP address to that type of devices like a mobile phone, tablets, smart TV, smart LEDs, printers kind of stuff. Even though that is, yeah, not everyone knows how to insert IP address, and there is a lot of possibility of wrong IP or conflicts of IP addresses will occur. In automatic, so DHCP server is giving an IP address. Of course, it not down to whom it is given an IP address. So what is the expiry date of that IP address? It is not down in the server only. Okay. So use DHCP server to assign an IP address to the client. So IP address changes frequently. So when the IP address of a system is not always the same IP address, it may changes uh, uh, frequently based on the network changes. When we change an IP address, also it will change changes automatically. So possibility of less conflicts or a wrong IP address centers because it is already we fixed the sequence. Not required to know everybody, not required to know how to put an IP address. Just have to start the device and try to connect the our Wi-Fi router because Wi-Fi router act like a DHCP server. 1 second, guys. Hello. Hello. Dot master. Sorry. So DHCP server assign an IP address to the client's IP addresses. Automatically, it will assign. Even if you change the network, automatically based on that network, that their DHCP server will assign your IP address to you. And you may get same IP address whenever you connected to the same network. You may not get a same IP address. So that is also difference. And we have a multiple type of different devices like a printers, smart TVs, smart devices. We are getting mobile phones, tablets also. So you will get an IP address automatically. Okay, so this is about your basics of DHCP. And DHCP use DORA process, discover, offer, request, acknowledgement. So client does not have an IP address. Of course, the client has to discover the server to discover it. It will send a DHCP discovery packet. So server received a packet and it will reply when server receive a discovery packet. Yes, I'm a DHCP server. It offers an IP address to the client. So the client requests for an IP address to the server. The server send an acknowledgement means it will configure the configuration of IP address to the DHCP client. So you want to get an IP address from DHCP server, then you have to put a option in obtain IP address automatically. That is means you want to get IP address from DHCP server. If you think you want to configure manually, then use the following IP address. Of course, this is the APIPA. Already I told, if you are failed to get IP address from DHCP, your option is obtain IP address automatically, means you should get IP address from DHCP server. For example, there is no DHCP server, or maybe a DHCP server is not working, or maybe there is a DHCP server is not working, or some connectivity issues, or IP issues. 1 second. Sorry. Okay, so you want to get an IP address from DHCP and you fail to get IP address from DHCP, system assign an IP address to that adapter in the sequence of, in the range of APIPA. So it is 169.254. Okay, first two are 169.254. When you see it, yes, it is an APIPA address. So problem is you are unable to get IP address from DHCP server. Find out why we are not getting. Problem can be a connectivity problem, or maybe DHCP server does not have a scope, means the range is completed, or maybe it is your PC is blocked. PC is blocked, so it does not give IP address to you. PC is getting blocked kind of stuff, like a MAC binding kind of stuff. Okay, so there is another possibility is also there. So check why we are not getting an IP address from DHCP. Confirm there is a DHCP connectivity and restart the DHCP services. Check the number of IP addresses, blockages and all. Okay, so that is the point. Next one is, even once your DHCP server is working, still in your PC it is showing 169.254 type of IP address only. DHCP server is working good, but your IP is not changing. Point number one. So point number two, you connect to a network, you got an IP address, that's good, working. Now you went to home and you connect a different network, but still it is showing old network only. You connected in one network, you got an IP address and you are working. You change the network, but IP address is not changing immediately. Okay, in that cases also we can do like this. We can go to your adapter settings part, like go to ncpa.cpl or control panel, network and sharing center, change adapter settings, then you will find an adapter. Right click on that adapter, disable adapter, then enable it. Disable, enable the adapter, then it is, you may get a new IP address. Another safe procedure is, so ipconfig release, ipconfig renew. ipconfig space / release is remove old IP address, remove old existing IP address, and renew means try to get a new IP address. Okay, from your removing old IP from your adapter, you get a new IP address from DHCP server. Okay, so this is a ipconfig space / release, ipconfig space / renew. Up to here we discussed yesterday. So now it is the part of DNS. Okay, so the main DNS part, if you see, what is DNS? Domain name system. Port number is 53, maps name to IP address. Name to IP address. So it is like just reading is there, but I will explain, try to explain this one, guys. See this. Here I have a PC. Okay, here I have a PC. In my Google, I open google.com, www.google.com I open, or facebook.com or youtube.com. Where it is the google.com is there. Look at it is. This is my www.google.com. Simple I am trying to say first. This is a www.google.com. It is not just a .com, it is a server. So it is a server means it contains some IP address. It sometimes it contains an IP address. Guys, in network, you have to use an IP address to communicate each other, not a name. You have to communicate with the IP address only. But I don't know the IP address of google.com. www.google.com IP address, I don't know. Then what I will do, in my PC, already one thing is configured. What is that? IP address. Next, subnet mask, default gateway, DHCP server address, and DNS server address. So what is this? It is my DNS server. It is my DNS server address. So what I will do, I send a request to my DNS server. I send a request to DNS server. DNS server gave me a reply. So I'm asking, what is an IP address of a google.com? So DNS server will find that the IP address of www.google.com IP address. It returns, this is the www.google.com IP address. Now I got an IP address. Then I will contact this server with an IP address. So this is how DNS is work. So just read it, you'll understand. You open a browser when we need an IP address of google.com, our PC send a request. We need an IP address of google.com. So our PC send a DNS server. Our PC sends request to the DNS server, ask for IP address of your www.google.com. DNS server returns an IP address of google.com. DNS server returns an IP address of google.com. Now we reach it to google.com with an IP address. Guys, always remember all communications by IP address. But when you want to communicate to a particular host in the network with a name, so compulsory, there is a, you have to communicate with IP address only. So how to get the IP address? So from DNS server. An example for this one, explanation example is also there, that is called a mobile phone contact list. So what is a mobile phone contact list? It is in that mobile phone we have a name and phone numbers of your parents or maybe brother, sister or friends. Okay, so people's their name and phone number is there. When you want to call them, you may not remember their phone number. What you will do, you'll go to the contact list and select the name and dial. Then we'll go to call. So we'll dial. So the call will go with the mobile number only. So all communications are by number, means all communications by number only. But problem is, you may not know the number, or maybe may not remember the number. So in a DNS server helps you to get a IP address of a particular domain, particular system in the domain, particular host in the domain. Okay. So that is a DNS server. What is DNS, guys? Domain name system. So DNS is a protocol, of course. That's why it is having a port number called 53. It map name to IP address. Here's one example. When I'm trying to ping to www.google.com, first of all, I am getting an IP address. Then I'm communicating with an IP address. So I will show that one again. I'm pinging to anything, google.com, facebook.com, youtube.com, you can try. See, first I'm getting an IP address of www.google.com, then I'm getting first IP address. Next, I'm sending a packet to that IP address and receiving packet to get from the IP address. Okay, so this is called a ping. IP address. So there is a story, guys. Small story of DNS is there. Just I given a small introduction to DNS. There is a story of DNS. Guys, understand what is DNS? These are the basic points. So do you understand what is DNS?
Yes, sir.
Just take a 10 minutes of break and just 10 minutes enough. I have a tea or something. I will explain the DNS in further part.
Okay,
Just
sir.
try to make only small points first. Deep stories, you understand good. If you don't get it, you can try it later, no problem. But main points, this is the main point. Okay. Just take a break for 10 minutes, come back in a 4:25. Come back in 4:25. More than 10 minutes, no problem.